All right, let's continue unpacking this story now with legal analyst Kabelo Seabi. Mr. Seabi, it's great to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed for joining us here on 405. So what do you make of this? The third court appearance, and we're still waiting for the extradition documents from the NPA in South Africa.
Okay. The Extradition Act or the Extradition Law of Swaziland provides that the application for extradition should be conveyed through diplomatic channels, either from our minister to their minister or through a consular service in Swaziland to the Minister of Justice in Swaziland, and it will be processed in that way. So it is very unclear at this stage as to whether the NPA in South Africa has handed over these requests to the for processing through the diplomatic channels.
And as we just heard from the defense lawyer for the two accused there, he says, you know, as long as things are happening within the confines of the law, there's really no need to be, to feel that things are not going as fast as perhaps they could be going.
Yes, or perhaps let me start by saying there are two pieces of legislation. There is the Swaziland Extradition Act, as well as the SADC Protocol on Extradition. Those are the two pieces of documents that would be looked at in this inquiry as to whether these suspects should be extradited back to South Africa.
Right.
Now, if this application is brought properly with motivation by the requesting state, and the requesting state will be the Republic of South Africa, requesting the Republic of Eswatini to surrender the suspects for trial in South Africa, that application should be processed and should contain material that shows that the suspects have committed an offense which, in terms of these protocols of extradition, is an extraditable offense to South Africa.
And I've got that Extradition Act here in front of me. It says essentially in point 13, the limitation of execution of order of surrender, that, you know, essentially there's 45 days in which this extradition process should be finalized. Yes,
South Africa should process its request for the surrender of the suspects from the Kingdom of Eswatini. It should process that request within that limitation period of 45 days. If not, then the authorities in Swaziland would then be forced to abandon the process and release those suspects.
I wonder, Mr. Seabi, and this is the part where I'm asking you to bring in the legal analyst part of this conversation. I wonder whether the NPA is wary of making sure that all its I's are dotted and all its T's are crossed insofar as this case is concerned. There is a sense, I would think, not only in this case, but perhaps if we even think about state capture cases, that the NPA is somewhat lagging behind just insofar as successful, high-profile cases are concerned. Do you get that sense as well?
It is of concern, especially once the story broke in the media to say that these particular suspects are connected to the case that has already appeared before our court in eThekwini. You would expect that the NPA would move with speed in securing that these suspects who are in the Kingdom of Eswatini are brought back speedily so that all the suspects in the case that is before the court in eThekwini, could appear before court. But the delay from the time that the story broke in the media is of grave concern as to what is the delay on the part of the NPA, and or one might not even know. It might be that it is delaying through the diplomatic channels, but it is the NPA which needs to make sure that the diplomatic processes are undertaken to make sure that this extradition is speedily handled and that those suspects are returned to the Republic of South Africa.
Yeah, indeed. But as we said at the start of our discussion, the NPA is still well within the time frame that limits, the time frame in which the extradition must have been dealt with. The NPA has also sent a statement, a very short and curt one, saying that extradition documents are being attended to and that there will be no further comments on the matter. For the two brothers,
yes,
the Ndimande brothers, they're back in court on the 20th of March.
From the statement of the NPA, one doesn't know precisely whether the delay is on the part of the NPA or the diplomatic processes that must be engaged in. You must remember this extradition is a request from one state to the other and it goes through the diplomatic channels.
Let me thank you for your time. Legal analyst Kabelo Seabi helping us unpack the latest developments in the Manzini Magistrates Court in Eswatini. That case has now been postponed to the 20th of March.